Hello, I'm Brian Fox. Welcome to my channel. And this video is going to be about the day Brian Eno had a rock band. And I find it a really fascinating episode. I'm a big Eno fan, and I particularly love his first solo album, Here Come the Warm Jets. And he picked up a pub band called the Winkies to tour with after he finished the album. And I just think it's a wonderful thing. And when you hear the rock band versions of Eno's tunes. They work really well. It adds an interesting new dimension to the whole "Here Come the Warm Jets" period. And the band was Brian Eno on vocal, synthesizer, and electronics, Philip Rambo on guitar, Guy Humphreys on guitar, Brian Turrington on bass, and Mike Desmarais on drums. And so a full-on rock band. They did 5 shows total in Derby, Sheffield, Swansea, Bristol, and Dunstable. And they would have continued touring, except for Eno, who apparently was quite a partier at that point, ended up with a collapsed lung. So he was rushed to the hospital, and Eno and his rock band were done. And it's kind of unfortunate. If they'd continued, maybe it would have been a fruitful collaboration, and there may have been an album out of it because he apparently enjoyed playing with him, and the live results show that it was a fruitful collaboration. So unfortunately, we only have 4 songs from the BBC sessions. At least it's a good recording. We have 4 songs, and listen to them and tell me what you think. Um, uh, Definitely very credible versions, and I just really like the fact that it's a live rock band playing these tunes because Here Come the Warm Jets, of course, is a very studio-oriented album. So to have these live rock and roll versions of Brian Eno's songs from that album is a wonderful thing. And recently, a full live tape. Unfortunately, it's not that good a quality, to say the least. But we get a full set list of what Brian Eno and the Winkies were doing on that tour in 1974. So they started out with Walk On, then Blank Frank, Needle in the Camel's Eye, Dead Things Don't Talk, Dignified by the Door, Love Slips Away, and those 2 songs particularly are not recorded on any albums. Then Here Come the Warm Jets, Fever by Peggy Lee, I'm a Boy by The Who, What Goes On by the Velvet Underground, which, according to Eno, is his favorite rock song ever. And it makes sense when you listen to Velvet Underground's What Goes On. Eno definitely learned something from that song, particularly the way the guitar solos come in. And then they did Papa Negro Blowtorch, Baby's on Fire, I'll Come Running to Tie Your Shoes, Seven Deadly Fins, which of course is a non-LP song recorded by Eno. And then they finished out with I Go Ape, which is a song written by Neil Sedaka and recorded by the Monkees. So it's great that we get a full set list of what this band was playing. Unfortunately, we don't have any recordings except for this one that's not that good, but just a singular event, and to me, a very important band to have Eno with a rock band. And the fact that they're called the Winkies is pretty cool. They were a pub band that kind of was part of glam as well, but I think it was more of a case of they were a pub band that dressed like a glam band because they ended up recording their own album, the Winkies, and apparently in '74 they started out recording an album. They got signed to Chrysalis, and they started recording an album with Leo Lyons, who of course uh, ended up producing 10 years after, amongst other things. Oh, he produced UFO as well. But that didn't get finished and is unreleased. And then they got Guy Stevens, who had produced Mott the Hoople and most notably the Brain Capers album. And so in March 1975, the Winkies released their own record. And it's all right. If it had leaned more towards glam, it probably would have been a lot more interesting. But it definitely is a pub rock album, and it's respectable, but not mind blowing. But it definitely shows that Brian Eno brought everything to the table with this collaboration, and I'm sure the Winkies would have liked to have continued working with Eno. So now I have another potential lost album to dream about. What if Brian Eno had enjoyed working with the Winkies so much that his second album, Taking Mountain by Strategy, what if there had actually been a rock album in between that one and Here Come the Warm Jets with Eno and the Winkies? So anyway, I'll post the 4 tracks from the BBC sessions below. Check them out if you haven't heard them. It's going to be real interesting for you. In some respects, uh, the live Brian Eno and the Winkies uh, has a little bit of an edge to the versions on the studio album, but I love that Here Come the Warm Jets album so much that I'm not prepared to fully make that claim. But wow, what a great thing that happened. I wish we had more recordings of it. Maybe someday an actual decent recording of these live shows will surface because they did 5 shows, and was, of course, very prominent in the UK scene then, so it's bound to have been recorded by somebody. This Derby show was recorded on February 13th, 1974. So somebody had their tape deck out. Let's just hope that somebody else had their tape deck out and got a really good recording. Who knows? Maybe even Eno has some of this stuff in the can somewhere. Although considering the trajectory of his career, I don't think he'd be that anxious to release it. But I think it's wonderful stuff. Check it out. Eno and the Winkies. Eno with a rock band. I'm Brian Fox. Thanks for watching I Hate Rock Music.